Okay, the February meeting of the Board of Water Commissioners is hereby called to order. First thing I'd like to do is acknowledge the retirement of Bob. Help me with the last name. Okay, thank you. Bob announced his retirement effective February 3rd after serving here for quite a while. So I want to just acknowledge his service to the Water Board and thank him for that service, and probably should maybe write a thank you letter from the board to him, or maybe if Matt, you or someone here in the office could draft something up thanking him. Or the mayor could sign it. I don't know. Maybe it'd be better.
We sent a letter anyway, so you can still send your own.
Okay.
We send one to my office just thanking.
I did send him an email directly, but I can.
Yeah.
Do something else.
Or I can even come in and sign if you want to just draft something for me. Appreciate it. Okay, reading of the minutes of the previous meeting. Since we only have a limited.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from last month's meeting.
I'll second.
Okay, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, carried. We'll hold off on the bills and present. Bills and accounts. Well, we're finished auditing them. Cooper Lake improvements.
In terms of the work, not a ton of update, or not really working on right now.
Okay,
That meter pan has been found. And it'll be here in 2 to 3 weeks. So that's a positive for winter work.
so the meter pan,
To turn the power on.
now does Central Hudson still have to approve that, or
That's
did?
already been approved.
Okay.
So now it's just waiting for delivery. So that's really it in terms of work. I have the one change order number 4 that I included in your packet for $10,643.67. So this was to do a more detailed survey of the bottom of the reservoir in the area below double outlet pipe. So when they were preparing to put the pipe in at the end of the construction season, they had found that based on the original drawings, they didn't feel the pipe would be able to be placed in that particular, in the way the drawing is specified to be placed. So they had to do this survey. And luckily the divers were there, so we didn't have to pay for remobilization. Otherwise, this would have been far more. So they did it. Now we're working on an alternative plan to lay the pipe without having to do any dredging or digging at the bottom of the reservoir.
Okay, so when GDM or whoever did the original plans, and evaluation, did they screw up? Who screwed up? I mean,
The way they did this, it was more, I think the original survey was more, there was points and there's assumptions that are made in between those points when they do the surveying. And the actual 3-4 foot wide path where the pipe is going to be laid, they found some mounds and some sludge on the bottom. And what, maybe that sludge wasn't there back when this was designed in 2017, 18. I don't know when the actual survey date was, but there's a few spots where that pipe won't be able to be laid down without digging a trench, but we're trying to find alternatives because dredging is not ideal. Because we have to shut down the lake to do that.
so that will be probably another change order, you think, too? To make modification to laying the,
There probably will be another survey or another change order, it's up to order some fittings for the pipe. They already have enough pipe there, so just extra fittings and stuff like that.
okay,
Luckily, I mean, we're almost 2 years in and you have a $15 million contract, only 85,000 change order, so that's positive, I think.
okay. So does CDM have to resubmit something? Or is that just something the contractor does?
This is Schnabel, but
Okay,
resubmit something for,
well, does it have to be re-engineered, or is it just something the
it's something I
contractor
kind of do on
on the fly?
Yeah, there's no re-end, it's, they submitted drawing and they think they extend, basically, we're looking at extending the pipe further out before it dives.
Does Schnabel submit it finished as built? You know, Jim?
They're responsible at the end, yes.
You know, because this will obviously be
Yeah.
a little bit of a change in regards to what the original plan showed in regards to the
I
pipe.
say it was a change in field conditions, that's what
Okay.
they're saying, basically, it comes down to that. It's the old story, when things like that happen, you kind of look at it and say, well, had they picked it up originally, you would have paid anyway for that extension. Even if it was in the original drawings, they weren't gonna do it, so you would have paid for that additional. Question always in the change order is, how much more do you pay because it's a change order versus on a bid? But that's
Right.
instructions, that's really the delta there.
I mean, I get frustrated that you pay the engineering firm who hired, I remember them hiring a surveying
Right.
group to survey it in order for them to develop the plans, and then you get to this point and you're paying more because someone didn't do a thorough enough survey back 3 years ago or 4 years ago, or whenever the
Yeah.
plans were being designed, so just frustrating to me that.
Relocated, obviously.
So we need a motion to approve this change order of,
10,643.67.
Make that motion.
I'll second.
okay, those in favor,
Aye.
opposed? Okay, carried. Nothing else, Matt, on Cooper Lake then?
No,
Do you know when they're planning on starting up again?
kind of weather dependent. The wind keeps going the way it's going.
Today would have been a beautiful day.
It's kind of weird, 'cause, it was, -20 with the wind chill on Saturday, and then by Sunday afternoon, it was just a mud pit again. So it's kind of back and forth.
Next Thursday is supposed to be in mid-50s again.
Yes,
And tomorrow's supposed, or Friday's supposed to be almost mid-50s.
temperature wise, they are there. It's just, it gets so cold at night, they spend half the day waiting for the ground to thaw so they can dig and do what they need to do. So it's,
Shouldn't be too much, well, maybe up there's more frost than on my golf course.
so hopefully sooner rather than later. I mean, I think they started up last year in mid-March,
Okay,
and the first couple of weeks, they didn't really do much. There's a lot of nobody coming in and just top two staff there. But they really didn't get going until April last year, I think.
and they fully expect that when they start up, they'll be done and out of there by the end of this year? That's the plan, right?
It's a plan.
Okay. Way of 2020.
We're doing some work in the skater portion of the project. Not a ton, some of it's gonna be related to Cooper Lake when that's ready to go in terms of programming. So it's nothing really tangible, but there is some programming and stuff like that being done. In terms of the valve replacement, we're still waiting on DOH. There was an email sent late last week or early this week, looking for an update from them. But I think DOH is still really backed up. We have not heard back yet.
And that's state DOH, right?
Yes.
Okay, so there's nothing more on that either, right?
No, thanks.
Okay. iPark,
In terms of the bills, they are still being paid. I did attend a meeting a few weeks ago. Their Town of Ulster Buildings Department had invited me in. Kind of just heard some of their plans. They have sounded pretty much what was in the paper. In terms of that, I do have some legal questions that we require to executive session for a bill. So we'll get to that point. But other than that, I don't have any real updates with iPark.
okay. Vehicle bid.
I think I emailed everybody that I was considering, I wanted to look into getting another all-wheel drive vehicle, so now the entire fleet will be all-wheel drive and everybody can get to where they need to go. We had saved so much money on the pickup truck compared to what we had in the budget, so we got $15,000 left in the vehicle purchase budget after those two purchases we've already made. So I put a bid out for another SUV.
Mm-hmm.
It came in at $30,200. That's a 2023 Chevy Equinox. And I do know, I've talked about auctioning off the meter van that is currently at
18,800.
$18,800 with another 24 hours to go. And I'm hoping the last hour before that is another couple grand. So we're looking at
So that ends
at least
Wait tomorrow.
$18,800 with more to come.
Mhm.
And that would be how I come up with the other portion of this 30,000.
So that's, even that's say 19,000 to round things off. And you
Yeah,
have
Plus
another,
15,
plus you have 15, you got to cover.
Yeah.
In the budget,
plus another 2 vehicles to auction.
to auction off, okay. So you need a motion to Accept that bid.
2023 Chevy Equinox for $30,200.
I'll move that.
Okay, second,
Second.
okay, those in favor,
Aye.
opposed? Okay,
Can we also
so you need a motion to then
declare
declare that,
2017 Ford Fusion surplus?
Make a motion to declare the 2017 Ford Focus
Fusion.
Fusion surplus.
I'll second that.
okay, those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Do you have another vehicle?
We had approved one back in October.
No, for surplus, I mean?
Well, that one isn't gonna, I mean, we can do that, but that one might not show up for another 6 months.
Okay,
So I guess once I have a better idea, we'll know. We can declare that one.
which one is that?
That would be Focus.
So the Fusion that we just approved as surplus,
Is what I've been driving.
okay, and what's replacing that?
The Equinox.
Okay,
Then there's another SUV coming with a delivery date of somewhere between June and June 15th, June 1st and June 15th.
the delivery date for this is,
I was told without over promising a week.
okay. So there's 3 vehicles we're purchasing.
Yeah.
We bought the truck, pickup truck, last meeting, and we just purchased the Equinox. And,
RAV4.
okay. And we've approved all those bids.
Yep.
Okay. And the pickup truck is replacing the van?
Yeah. Not directly, but yes.
Okay. And the Equinox is replacing the
Usually.
Fusion. And the RAV4 is replacing the Focus.
Yeah.
Technically, okay. And the RAV4 is being delivered,
Till June 1st.
June?
15th.
okay. So when that gets closer to the delivery date, then we'll,
Yeah, if this shows up in June, I'll be surprised, but
okay.
yeah.
Okay, we all set with that then? Okay. Rules and regs. Well, rules and regs. I know, Commissioner Noble and I met to go over the proposed water well regs. And then we ended up having a meeting with Matt and Bill last week, I think it was. And we kind of came back full circle pretty much to what was presented a month or two ago on that, so it was in your packet. And we talked about little modifications on the intro.
I had a question, and I just looked at the notes now. On this, the word county is in here.
Yeah, that,
Every city,
I just took it because we had talked to you, it said copy that paragraph, and that was something
the
that.
paragraphs are.
That is my notes, so I don't know if some of these words.
My suggestion, just eliminate to the county.
Right.
And then up at top, where it says health district, should be Kingston Water Department.
Exactly.
And then my only other question, we talked to Matt earlier about was, I know our backflow prevention device regs apply, but should we make any reference in here to that?
I don't think so. They're still obliged to follow all the rules and regulations of the city. This water department, what I was. After that, I was wondering how, how is this, how people going to be penalized? And actually, anybody that doesn't follow, like this other letter here, anybody that doesn't follow your rules and regulations, still subject to a $50 fine.
Right.
So I don't think you have to put that in this.
No, so it's covered under the general penalty section of the code.
And my other question, how is it going to be publicized to the public? So people will have to know that they have to register their wells.
Yeah.
Should we put a date in and say that as of January 1st, 2024, something all property and well plus registered? What do you think?
Well, I think I wouldn't wait to that far. I like to.
Unless their notification plan is going to be to put an insert, like put it on everyone's bill, like they may only then get them a couple of times, depending on the building cycles, like it can take a while to capture the whole city.
Yeah, it's not gonna be easy to find that,
Right,
it's going to be an effort.
it's gonna have to be a self-reporting, unless we get a complaint from a neighbor.
Yeah.
Can you put it in the CCR? We didn't do that yet this year.
I could,
You know, add it as a.
but
if
I mean,
somebody reads
I
it,
can.
I know, but it's.
nobody's going to
I
read it.
know.
Yeah, I mean, even on the bills. People aren't
It
gonna,
won't be, if we put it on the bills, it's not gonna be on there for another 12 weeks.
Right, because
That's
we
what I
need
mean,
the.
because
That's the benefit of having it be next year that we actually start the mandate, like people have to be registered by.
well, I guess I'm more worried about the beginning part that says that. Wells are not allowed. I don't want to wait. Another 10 months to say somebody else pops in here in May and starts drilling a well someplace and. We said, well, we can't stop them because our regs don't go take effect.
I
until
only mean with respect to the
The registration.
Oh, okay.
existing well.
53, oh, 53,
Yeah,
not 50.
to add a clause to that 53 paragraph that says that, you know, all residents must register their well by a certain date.
Oh, okay.
Or all pre-existing wells must register by,
And how much time do
well, I mean, again, if you're gonna do it by billing as your kind of official notification to everyone. Then you kind of have to give yourself like 6 months probably.
Because somebody's gonna come in and say, hey, listen, mine was put in years ago, how would we know? We never registered.
Right, or you have
Yes.
to do like an actual direct mailing to everyone,
Which is thousands of dollars.
not worth it, right?
Yeah,
No, I think,
But it can't go on the bills because the next full quarter of bills, we need to put on notifications that the annual water quality report is on there. Or do a full mailing for the annual water quality report, and you spend the same money
yeah.
regardless.
so the recommendation is just for 53, the registration is to have an effective date. Of whatever, January 1st, 2024. But the other parts of the
Effective immediately.
immediately, do we have to put that in, or is that just,
Probably be safer to put it in
Or-
that and say effective. June 1st about new wells or whatever, you would debate first, or
you know,
March 1st, whatever.
March 1st? Yeah, I wouldn't go.
Put in here, the registered by us.
Well, whenever you change your policies. It automatically is by board resolution, right? So you probably don't put in every policy section that you update when it starts, but in the board resolution that adopts that policy.
Right,
it probably states the actual start date, right? So you
Exactly
could
right.
basically, we don't have to put it in this actual language.
When I update the rules and regs for the website, I can put on an updated February 8th, 2023.
Yeah,
and then the resolution will just say that the registration section is effective,
whatever.
do it by motion as opposed to doing it in the code itself.
Well, it says.
Yeah, right, you could do it by just motion.
Shall register, then just put in there, on or before. Pick a date.
I'm good with January 1st.
Okay. But the rest of the stuff will be just by motion effective
Now,
now, effective at the board meeting.
My only question, and it's more about the rest of the rules in general, is there some other article that basically says that any of the rules can be waived if the board decides to waive them? Is there a general clause in there that says that the board has the ability to
A waiver or variance clause.
That's my only question, is that like, what if, who knows, what the situation is in 5 years from now, someone comes to the board and says, we need to do a well, and this is why, and it's an extenuating circumstance that none of us thought about. I think the board should have the power.
The public health, the section 5, which they adopt, says
Yeah.
right in the that no public water supply shall permit this without the permission of the board.
Okay, right, my question is, does it need to be in here that there is a waiver provision, or is it already in one of these other sections?
Section 5. So
Then I'm fine with this, I just feel like we should have the ability to grant special cases if we.
Well,
so choose.
I'm guessing that we probably do as the board anyway, is that we have.
I
Where you,
didn't want to put it, when we talk about it, the reason I didn't want to put it in there is if you put something in there specifically, unless permission is granted by the board or by the superintendent, whatever you want to do, they have to have some guidelines as to why they grant you and not him.
Yeah.
So by leaving that out, you have your authority under the public health law that says that no well is permitted, access, no second source of water supply to a premises is permitted without the permission of the water board.
And are these going to refer to those, the wells that just, what are they called? They just go down. to the
Point-
water table?
point wells?
Yeah, point wells.
well, yeah, we want, well, yeah, the point well
That's what I-
would be
That, yeah.
covered by this,
Yeah,
yes.
I'm just curious. I wasn't, because with the one problem we had is with the person who was using, he had a point well, that he was using for other purposes, right? Besides just filling his pool.
well,
Yeah, that was-
the individual that this kind of
Yeah.
flag the fact that we don't have it in here for me, he did not, he drilled a well.
Oh,
Yeah, drill barge,
oh, okay, okay.
because he probably didn't have a shallow water aquifer to tap into. When you have a point well, your aquifer's got to be like within the first 15 to 20 feet.
Yeah.
Well, otherwise, a point well wouldn't work. You need a drilled well.
Okay,
So we need a motion to accept
To adopt this language as amended,
as amended.
tonight.
Okay.
I can move that.
then I'll second it.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, those in favor,
Okay.
opposed? Okay, carried.
With those changes.
Yes.
Somebody got here from these people on Johnson. Right?
Just a while to get through it.
You done with the bills and accounts, Joanne?
Oh, yes.
Let me jump back to that real quick.
Yeah, motion to accept the bills and accounts as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, those in favor,
Right.
opposed? Carried. Okay, correspondence. Correspondence.
Included the letter from 89 John in everybody's packet. Also included a draft response on behalf of the board.
I have a question about this, just, we must have gone back over this back in this, take it, this is when it started, right?
No, November, no, so it's November of 21, that date is correct, it really was 2021.
Oh, okay, that's why I wasn't
She called
Remember it.
last Tuesday
Okay,
and Jane spoke with her and explained everything to her.
okay.
And she emailed this letter and also mailed a hard copy.
Now, I'm not sure if I understand this. So they live on Green Streets and they have a well? What is this?
No, the backflow prevention device.
Oh, well, okay, wait.
So they
It
all
says the site would require a backflow prevention device, but, because it's all apartments, like they, anytime, what is that actually? Like, I know what backflow,
it prevents contamination.
yeah.
So the
Where-
rules that we have, commercial
Mhm.
and multifamily, 3 units or more, require the backflow.
Okay,
Protect
so it
public
would be
flood.
like from another unit to another unit, that's.
No,
No, like
It's by the meter.
Okay,
it's on the service line that comes into the dwelling or into the building. And it's a plumbing device that prevents water from inside the dwelling or the property from going back into the service line and into the distribution system.
okay, but we don't all have something like that, no?
No,
And only, okay, because
I mean-
how often does that happen? Does it happen? Like I was just,
it's very rare, but
yeah, because I was just curious, because it was on Green Street and it just seemed like it was just like a residential.
it could occur any place. I mean, the
Place.
most common situation is if you have a large fire someplace and the fire department hooks up to the fire hydrant and with their pumper, and they're pumping at a higher rate than what we have pressure in a distribution system, you could literally suck water that's plumbing, it's in your plumbing system in your house back into the distribution system. That's generally how most of these cross connection
Okay,
hazards occur is a suction on the line that's greater than what the normal pressure is in the line. I mean, a normal pressure, you have pressure in the line that's forcing the water into your house. But whenever there's an occasion where there's a negative pressure, it actually sucks the water from your house out. Now, the biggest concern is those buildings that have hazardous plumbing concerns, where there might be chemicals or something that are connected into the internal plumbing and you're actually sucking.
okay, so we are requiring a backflow device for them because of the medical office downstairs. Because that's what I was curious about, because the whole thing is upstairs was just gonna be a residential thing, so it's because there could be contamination from the medical office.
Well, because it's a commercial,
Are the rules that we have
And
based
it's
on
just
the state
any
laws.
commercial thing, No
Commercial,
matter what part, you just have, if any little part that's commercial, then you have to have this device.
that's how our rules are.
Okay,
so if there's technically an attorney's office,
yeah.
Which is a
it used to
commercial
be
property.
upstairs,
you know, but even. I mean, what Matt explained to me earlier was that if there's. We're not going out and looking for properties that don't have
Yeah.
these, but if there's a change in use or a modification to the plumbing. And we
That's what-
become aware of it,
Yeah.
then we enforce
Yeah,
that it's not being enforced, I guess.
When she got a plumbing permit,
why for a residential unit, we needed that, but it's because.
it's the
of
commercial that flags.
Thing down.
The doctor's office is considered a commercial.
So had the doctor's office,
On Main Street,
yeah,
What did you say?
if my law was 85 Main Street, if that was to be modified in any way, like.
Mhm.
They need to get a plumbing permit.
that's what we go through.
Right,
That's-
with the plumbing permit.
You would need a backflow prevention device on your, because it's commercial.
And our rules specifically call out one of the things that can trigger this notification from Kingston Water Department is issuance of a plumbing permit for substantial alterations to the premises plumbing.
Okay.
And so if they were to take the doctor's office out and have an apartment upstairs and an apartment downstairs, it was no longer commercial.
Okay, well, then that's pretty straightforward. It
I
seems,
just think so, and she
Yeah,
was
and I
explaining
think-
this, and
yeah, so I think then
I tried to spell that out in my response
Mm-hmm.
to her.
Then it's with the woman's request that she has somebody advise them.
Which I also tried to address, because
Is that like something we would,
we have,
we do, or is it a
we
plumber?
have plans that we would give to the plumber, that
Okay,
if that's what they want to use, and it's already stamped by an engineer, they don't have to do anything, just has to be installed.
But
She
Paula
wants
would
to
know that.
explore alternate methods,
Mhm.
because in our rules, it does mention air gaps. She would need to hire somebody that can stamp plans saying this is correct.
Okay.
But we're not going to make a decision. We have the plan for the RPZ backflow, and that's what we recommend, and
She can come in, pick up those plans, submit it with an
Any
application.
plumber she hires should be able to do this without a problem.
Well, then I guess to me, it seems pretty straightforward. I don't know what it said everyone else think. I mean, that was my only question is why, because I never really, like, I was thinking, I don't have that, well, on my house, right? So, so I was just curious why they would have to, because I understand now, you have the medical office go up.
It's something that
Okay,
it used to have, happen in some of the towns, when medical was, they would find out big places is the washing machine. People were washing clothes and then had a fire, and the man came in and it was sucking the water from the washing machine out in reverse. So you had detergents going into the distribution system,
okay.
and that's what really pushed this more
Mhm.
backflows.
Okay,
She would think,
yeah,
but it happened.
yeah.
It's pretty rare, but I mean, there's been occasions where they've had contamination in the distribution lines, and there's actually been illnesses associated with backflow of, water. I mean, one of them is a irrigation system in Holy Cross College back in the 60s or 70s. So we find her 3 times.
No. She only mentions those times, but it's been going on since,
2021.
so the plumbing permit was issued in October of 21. She got an initial letter in November of 21, giving her until January 10th
Of 22
of 22.
last year.
Then she got another letter 2 weeks after that deadline, extending it to 2/7.
Okay.
She called right before that deadline, said they would be hiring a plumber by March 1st. And we have all this, Jane has all this noted,
Right.
and nobody ever came in with an application, so the
Okay,
fine
so-
started in March.
The account has been receiving $50 a month fine since March 22, so it's
Yes.
almost,
My guess is they just looked at the most recent bill, and they've been paying these all along.
so that was my question. So they've been paying it
$150
all along for the last at least 8 months
3 bills, right? 3 bills.
or 3, that's right, there's only quarterly.
So, yes,
And it wasn't to this last bill that they actually realized that they paid fines.
but they should have known this was coming on both of those letters, it is talked about, and they called right before the end of the deadline. So,
So the superintendent has drafted a response. Do we need a motion, or is this just for our information, Bill, that he goes ahead and,
No, she appeals to the board, so I guess.
okay, we need to deny or appeal in a motion. Okay, is there a,
Make a motion to deny the appeal.
I'll second.
okay, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
everybody's good with the letter, as is. The only thing, I didn't check the mailing address on that. I don't know if that's where the mails are going to, before you send that.
I think my only question with the letter would be maybe just. When the next time they're gonna get it, when do they have to have it done before you issue them another fee? I mean, maybe it would be good to give them another
March
deadline
1st.
in this letter, right? Just to say, yeah, just to add that in, maybe,
If no application is received by March
Yeah,
1st,
right.
2023, then the fines will continue.
yeah,
Oh, yeah,
right, at least now we're giving them a chance to.
yeah, get back and start the process.
Yeah.
And complete it. That's it for correspondence.
Yes.
Okay. Superintendent's report. I know we discussed
I know.
first indicator. Does that also include when you have your consumption? The water we sell to the town of Ulster?
Yes,
Okay, so
That's in
that's added in.
yes.
I just. You know, it's like. Reduction, obviously, the fourth quarter of. 2022 had less production because hopefully, because town of Ulster wasn't buying. Water, right,
Yes.
and we weren't selling water at the
Yeah,
same rate.
that's why the third quarter is so low, yes.
Well, the end of the fourth
Yeah,
quarter,
is a little bit lower.
I mean, the
yeah.
fourth quarter is fairly low too, compared to
Yes,
fourth quarter before. You know, it's
it's off from June to Thanksgiving or July, mid-July to Thanksgiving.
okay. So yes, most of that quarter. So we started selling water back
It was the week of Thanksgiving, I believe.
of the full amount.
Yes.
Oh, okay, I thought we didn't do that until beginning of January. We
No,
still-
it was,
it was
yeah,
the-
it was definitely. before
Thanksgiving, okay.
Thanksgiving, yeah. I don't know the exact date, but I know it was
Yeah.
leading to that.
Okay. With my only question is still trying to look at that key performance indicator and drives me crazy.
Yeah, it's not, necessarily apples to apples. I just haven't thought of a better way to show it.
Yeah.
It's not that it's not valuable, it's somehow
Mm-hmm.
in the, but that's not gonna change until the end of March anyway, so.
Right, same stuff. Okay.
And then maybe I'll look at it.
Motion to accept the superintendent's report.
Make motion to accept it.
I'll second.
Okay, those in favor?
Uh,
Okay, need a motion to go into executive session to discuss some legal issues. Correct?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to go into executive session, to discuss legal issues.
Okay, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Motion to come out of the
I'll
session.
make a motion to come out of executive session.
I'll
All
second.
right, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Is there anything else then? Otherwise, we can
Good.
entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you, folks.
All right, thank you.